The Blokebusters podcast is proud to be a member of the Pod Bros Network. You can find us as well as other fine shows such as The Guy Huddle, Language of Bromance, and Dave's Nerd Compendium at podbros.com and on Twitter at Podbros Network. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Blokebusters podcast.
Welcome to episode 54 of the Blokebusters podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Brian.
And today we will be talking about the newest release featuring Jesse Eisenberg, American Ultra. And let's go into nuts and bolts.
Absolutely.
Alright, so first off, make sure you follow us on Twitter, guys. Pretty please.
Yes.
At Blokebusters there. And we're also on Facebook. Not as much as we're on Twitter, but we try, damn it. .com/Blokebusters. We do have a website which I'm trying to keep updated. Occasionally it messes up on me, but
check us out on the Twitter. It's best way to interact with us and have a discussion. You know, we love it. So
anytime you want to talk to us about anything, we're
questions and comments coming.
Yeah.
All right. So how's this film doing, Paul?
Well, let's see. The budget was $28 million.
Actually, not too bad. I think it looked pretty decent for that.
Yeah, for a film that looked like that seems a little low.
Mm-hmm.
And the box
but
office...
not low enough.
No. The box office, as of 17 days after release, 14,029,251.
They got some ground to make up.
They do. Yes, an opening weekend of, I believe it said, 5.5 million domestic.
Ow, yeah.
Yeah, not good.
Perhaps they would have been better off doing the simultaneous VOD.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that seems to work out better for some folks, but...
Yeah, and for some styles of film as well.
Yeah.
And directed by Nima... Here we go. Noizada, Zippity-Doo-Dah, something.
Yeah, only other major credit, which I didn't see it, was Project X. I don't know, the party movie.
No, yes, I have not seen that one.
Okay.
Not my style of film.
I've heard it was, okay, or some people really liked it. I just, once again, not my thing either, so...
I mean, I'm sure that there was enough in that made them decide, this is who we want for this one, so... Yes. Nothing against the director. Alright, so how about we get into the people in this, yeah?
People in this? Well, let's go ahead and do that.
Alright, so we have, as I said, Jesse Eisenberg as Mike Howell, the stoner who is actually a sleeper agent.
Yes.
Which is kind of along the same lines as Jason Bourne.
I was just going to say, because we kind of skipped synopsis, but I was just going to say Stoner Born is the synopsis.
Well, we'll run into synopsis once we from a random website, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, we'll find something. And
then, of course, Twilight herself, Kristen Stewart, as Phoebe Larson. And I'll probably talk more about that later.
I will definitely get into that. Yep.
Alright. Topher Grace doing, I would say, a good job as Adrian Yates.
Okay.
The reason I
we might get into that a little more in a bit.
Yeah, the reason I say doing a good job is I kind of enjoyed his character.
Okay.
And Connie Britton as Victoria Lassiter.
Mm-hmm. From the best season of American Horror Story.
Which I have not
Haters
seen.
hate, but yes, that is the best season.
She was one person that I didn't think I'd seen before. Turns out I've seen her in Spin City, but there we go, that's been about it for me. Walter Goggins, a wonderful last name there, as Laugher. And I would like to point out that his full name is shown in the film, but I couldn't find it anywhere online when I was doing my notes.
That's how important it is. Yeah. Okay. Who else you got? I think.
Who else I have? Just one more name. It's Lone Star as Thomas J. Whitmore. Raymond Kruger. And for those of you that didn't just get that, that was an Independence Day jab there.
Well, you said Lone Star, did you not? So...
I did, but then I said Thomas J. Whitmore.
Oh, you were still going so fast. I missed the Whitmore. Okay, yes.
Yes, I'm all over the place with this one.
Yes, absolutely. And I had one other one down to Tony Hale, who plays the agent that somewhat assists Connie Britton. Because he's just an amazing character actor. And I'll just go and say now with nothing to do with this film. Pretty much. So I was kind of bummed. I was excited to see him and then bummed that he just wasn't utilized at all. But so those were the players. What's this bloody thing about?
I don't know.
I think we kind of teased that a bit.
Yeah, well, how about I throw it to you for your patented synopsis?
Yes, of course. These come just straight out of they just pop into my head, and they're well worded every time. I'm just great at it. So let's just go with it.
You have quite the prose.
Yeah. So a stoner, who is in fact a government agent, is marked as a liability and targeted for extermination. But he's too well trained and too high for them to handle. Oh, you got me.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm hooked. So overall feelings.
Overall.
What did you think? Let's start. What did you like about this film?
What did I like? Well, one of the things that I actually really enjoyed about this film was the music.
I thought I would agree 100%. Yeah, I thought the music was handled very well.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where, as it was going, and a lot of the music, they do this thing which is, I think, getting more popular now, whereas the music you hear is also the music that they hear. Like, it's always a record going, or music in a car, or something like that. Yeah. Outside of
films in like the 80s would do that for like a song or like a major song or like but they wouldn't do it throughout the film like this does.
No, I mean obviously outside of the background music used for tension in a scene or whatever. But the main music that you hear being actually. So
you like the soundtrack and the score? Both?
Yeah,
because it was an original score which I thought was very cool.
And the soundtrack was like very in character for all that, and then the score, I think it did a really good job at setting the scene and all that.
So maybe not off to a good start at saying the best. When I say what do you like about the film, and you say the music, the part you can't see.
Well, that was the thing that really stuck out most to me when I was watching the film.
Anything else?
I enjoyed Jesse Eisenberg in this. However, I will say I'm getting a little tired of him being typecast in these sorts of roles. I mean, he did well in it, but I kind of want to see him do something totally different. I think I'm one of the few people that actually enjoyed watching Now You See Me, because I saw it as just the ensemble film that it was, rather than looking at the plot, which isn't very good. And I like seeing him in that as the real, like, smart-ass, cunning, trying to deceive people guy, rather than the more laid-back, slightly neurotic guy.
So did you not enjoy him in Social Network? Or?
I did enjoy him in Social
I thought he was
Network.
But more roles like that.
More roles.
Because he can handle those things.
Exactly. He's shown that he can handle other roles. He just keeps getting these roles. So maybe a better agent.
Sorry for this jab, but the Odd Thomas roles.
Alright.
That's a deep pull, but
yes.
But that's kind of what the Anton Yelchin. Wasn't that Anton Yelchin?
It was Anton Yelchin, and I will also point out that is the one thing we've recorded that still hasn't been released yet.
Hopefully, never sees the light of day.
Oh no, it will come out one day, sir. Maybe I'll wait till next year.
Oh, Pooh Bear.
And well, just jumping back.
If you aren't getting these references, you're one lucky son of a bitch.
And just jumping back as well, I really hope you guys did enjoy us releasing the Sherlock episode.
Yes,
that was something that just kind of fell by the wayside after we recorded it. I think because something else came out. And
it's always relevant.
Yes,
Sherlock. So.
Well, given how long it is in between each season.
Exactly. It's like, you can just go on safari for a couple of years and then come back and hopefully you only have another 6 months to wait before the season starts. So, alright. Was that all for you?
Not so much as loved, but I did not hate Kristen Stewart.
I would like to jump in there because I am a huge supporter of Adventureland.
Right.
I love that film. It's probably in the last 20 years one of my favorites. I'm not putting it in any kind of top 10 or anything like that, but one I can always watch. I love that film. It just speaks to me. The characters kind of represent characters just a few years older than myself. Would be in the 80s there. But just the music is perfect in it. The mood, it's young romance and trying to find your purpose, and it's just a great movie. And I loved them together because that was the first, other than her kind of somewhat larger than cameo role in Into the Wild as the guitar playing hippie whatever, which I thought she was great in. This was the first. Adventureland was the first film that I really liked her in. That I thought she did well.
Right.
I mean, granted, it's not so fair to just knock her for Twilight. She is working with Twilight.
Yes.
So, you can only
it's-
do so much
It's
with
kind
that dialogue.
of 50-50, I think, with that. Like,
she can't assume all the blame, though, because people love to hate on her for her stone face or just blank, brooding.
I was going to say, there's definitely more facial movement in this film than there is in all the Twilight films.
So
having not seen all the Twilight films,
I've seen enough. I saw 1.5, which is embarrassing enough to admit. But that being said, I loved her in this too. I love them together, Eisenberg and Stewart, and I kind of hoping they sort of turn into the Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks of the future.
Well, they just seem to be in everything together.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper and kind of Jennifer Lawrence are kind of doing that now, especially
which is
with
a bit odd, but yeah.
They've I think been in 4 films together now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to name all those, but I think about 4, and but I just loved their relationship in this movie. I really bought them as a couple.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to see more of that. Because the film suffers when they aren't on screen, I think. For me, it did. The whole CIA side of things was just boring, and I kind of really hated it. It just kind of got on my nerves. But them together, like, they had really genuine, tender moments. You really bought them as a couple, and I wanted to see that explored more, because I think that's where the film was, where it should have been. That relationship, focusing on their actual love for each other.
Well, that's the problem I found with both the pacing and the setting for this film. Is this should just be a character drama. Obviously, with the action in there because of what the character is.
Yeah, you have to have the action. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
But it is a character drama, and they decide to spend it about 60-40 on character and then government. Like it's very odd. I mean, obviously, you need to have some understanding of what the other guys are doing and why everything's going the way it is. But they did seem to keep cutting back to the government more than they needed
much.
to.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to, I think it would have been better well served, since they kind of went like this anyway, just have the characters be one-dimensional, the CIA characters, instead of trying to flesh them out a little bit and half-ass it is kind of what you got. Half-ass fleshed out characters.
Yeah.
I don't need the backstories of these people I can't stand and don't like and don't care about. Just have them be the baddies and put them in SWAT gear or whatever. That's fine. It's about Eisenberg and Stewart. But cutting away for them 3-4 minutes at a time, it's just. I wrote this down. It's like it was like a subway car. It just kept making too many stops. You want that subway car just to keep moving, just to your till the end.
To yours.
Yeah, it just kept stopping and losing momentum every time it picked up some momentum.
A bit of a shame. And I wrote down as well those, I guess you could call them super soldiers, whatever it was they were trying to be. The group
my gosh.
of people.
Yes, I wrote this down. Yes. Wait, the tough guys or the wise men? the CIA creative department needs work.
Well, and then also, I swear there was a line of dialogue in there where the wise men are actually the people that were in the same program that Mike Howell was in. He was the only successful one.
Yeah, he's the wise man. Yeah, the tough guys are the ones trying to kill him, yes?
Well, yes, but then they also refer to them as wise men when they've got the group of them together. So
I thought just Laffer was one of the only former wise men.
But they basically said that all of the other wise men died. So
once again, very telling that we're confused on this.
Yeah, this film was an hour and a half, people, and we apparently had trouble following this thread.
Yeah. I don't know. I would like to talk about Topher, where you enjoyed his role. I absolutely hated it. I don't know if I would put words in your mouth there. I don't know if enjoy was the word to use.
I didn't think that the character required great acting. Mm-hmm. So
that's probably why I got the part.
But
sorry, Topher.
To me, he was the most interesting of the government people.
And once again, not saying too much.
Exactly. The reason I enjoyed his character was it was something different than just government, I don't like this.
Yeah, here's where...
He was the extreme.
Here's my issue. I hated him. I mean, granted, I do have a kind of anti-Topher bias. I'm not the biggest fan of it outside of that 70s show. And maybe Traffic from years ago. I thought he was good in Traffic.
He was
Venom, perfect in Traffic.
He was Venom in Spider-Man 3, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think he was perfectly used in Traffic. But listen, I hated him, but not. I know you're supposed to hate that character. I didn't hate him in the reason you're supposed to hate that character.
Yeah.
He looked like he belonged in a cartoon. He was a cartoonish villain.
Well, yeah, he should have had a mustache and twirled it half the time.
And I thought he was way too young for that role. I would see that more as someone in their mid to late 40s, early 50s, being that high up.
Yes, but then, I think the reason that they went with someone who was that young was because they wanted that line in there where Kristen Stewart says, "How the hell did a desk jockey like you end up here?" And the idea being, I guess he's outstretching himself.
He's just so overly smarmy.
Well, yeah.
And just, it's...
and I realize I'm trying to defend the film, but that's actually not my point. I'm doing devil's advocate right now.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not spoiler. I might have enjoyed this film more than you, so I don't know. But I like to be hard up front. But I just could not stand every second he was on film. Can we talk? This is something I normally don't have an issue with, and I'm interested to see if you feel the same way.
Okay.
I think the F word was extremely overused in this film. Would you concur with that or not?
Let me just think quickly. I do think that it was one of those things where they had... Obviously, the idea is they're stoner people, and all these people, I guess, lesser educated people are more likely...
You're going very method.
I know. More likely to use swear words than... higher educated people, but yes, it.
But I mean, I love R-rated movies, Tarantino and things. I may bring up him again, but I like it to kind of be this, and it felt forced in so many instances. Like,
oh yeah,
like especially in the office. And language, and then Topher has to go effing this and effing that and effing this, and
Well, he's a hypocrite, don't you know?
Yeah, it just seems like let's screenwriter Max Landis, Chronicle, by the way, kind of just said, we'll put fuck in there a lot, I'll say it once, and it'll be adult and edgy. That's kind of how it felt to me.
I kind of want to bring up something when it comes to the writing, since you mentioned screenwriter. Did you feel, I have no idea if this is going to end up sounding either pompous or like, that's not the intent, but did you feel at all that you knew which jokes they were going to use before they said them? Because I felt they went for the obvious jokes, like lines, and they went for the obvious things that would happen.
It was a little too hard on the head with the setups. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they had two instances of foreshadowing. One of them was
the opening of the film.
The opening to the film. Why? Why did you give us, 10 seconds of flashes of the rest of the film in a film that's only an hour and a half?
Yeah, we're going to see that anyway.
Exactly. And then you also had his drawings of Apollo Ape, which I get he's actually Apollo Ape and all that. But most of the stuff that you saw him drawing, he ends up doing to the bad guys at the end of the film. So you had double foreshadowing.
Yeah,
that was over the top. And then they would go to say something like, to be the joke line, and it's like, okay, if I was just going to write this, just to write a random comedy, this is what they say next, and then that was what they said. There wasn't much outside the box writing in this film, I felt.
Yeah, I don't know. There were parts I really enjoyed the comedy. I will say that there were some good, genuine laughs in there.
I'm not saying it was bad comedy.
No. I didn't say you were, but I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know, it was off. Like it was missing a little too much.
Yeah.
For me. I just wanted to. I don't know. I just. I guess I'll go into this now because I guess I know you would classify it. Would you classify it more a comedy first, comedy action, or action comedy? Or,
comedy action.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what the feel I got. I think it would have been better served if it was taken more seriously.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll bring Tarantino back up again a little more, because his films have humor in them.
Yeah.
Very natural, organic humor in the situation of the moment, and it's not so much about a one-liner. It's just, the absurd situations some of his characters get into.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been better served to take the action and the drama a little more seriously. I know it's a younger, hipper movie, and maybe I'm showing my age now. But I want it to be just boring and a lot of talking and drama. No, but that's kind of what I wanted this film to be.
Yeah. When I heard about this film, and it was, okay, this guy was an agent, but currently he's smoking so much that when his programming gets activated, it doesn't work properly. I thought, okay, that'll be interesting. And then will they take it that after he's activated, the more he smokes, the more he remembers, or is it like it's always a constant battle between he keeps needing to take drugs to calm himself down, but doing that makes him less able to fight off these people. I thought maybe they would go that route, which I think would have been interesting, but no, it was just, okay, he can just do, I guess, muscle memory or something. He's just able to do this now. And then at the end of the film, he's just kind of stone cold killer for no reason. I guess there was no. I mean, it was obviously to save the girlfriend, but there was no point where it was clear that he now was just able to use all this consciously.
I didn't quite understand that progression at all. Just him into just, like you said, just stone cold killer. Or I think as, what isn't it actually one tagline, stoned cold killer. Yes, ha 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 ha. But yeah, that
I was waiting for that.
I had issues with the drug use too, because I mean, marijuana is like pretty much widely accepted now, and it's legal in so many states. Yeah, so just have them smoking in the film. You don't even really need to address it too much.
No,
just okay. He says in the opening, "I'm the fuck up."
Yeah.
Okay, that's all we need. You know, like, oh look, the kids are getting high again, or they're smoking the weed, or just like with the stupid cop, and just. Okay, it's fine. Like, that's not the issue. They're on the fringe of society. That's enough. Like,
if anything else, I think they should have picked a harder drug to be the case. like not necessarily
injecting heroin.
Well, not necessarily having him be a real addict, but like have the situation he gets into make him take something that's a little harder because his like casual weed smoking isn't helping anymore, and then that caused the
They
issue.
allude to that he probably does acid too, but because John Lennon was some acid. You want to drop some acid and go to the titty bar? It's 8:15 in the morning, which was one of the best lines. Yeah. I was like, no, I'm good. It's 8:15 in the morning. Yeah, but I don't know. What did you think of the violence in the film? How it was handled, how it was shown?
I was okay with it.
Okay.
There wasn't on screen a huge amount of violence that wasn't cartoony. Like, I mean, you saw fights and stuff like that, but for instance, I guess it's not really a spoiler because it's halfway through the film, but there's a fight between one person who is handcuffed to a chair and Jesse Eisenberg, and the point where he, I guess, snaps the neck, all you see is in the bottom right hand corner of the frame some of the person, and you hear the snap, and then when it cuts back, the person's just limp in the chair. Like there wasn't any actual real violence that you would have trouble seeing on screen. I mean, you have at one point a dustpan going into someone's throat, and then incredibly bright red spraying out. Like,
See, I don't know. I once again with where it was the cursing, I was kind of in the same place with the violence. Normally not an issue for me. I felt so much of it though was gratuitous and didn't serve the narrative or the characters in the way that, sorry to keep harping on Tarantino, but that Tarantino is able to use violence. It always seems like you're like, what? He just said gratuitous and now he's saying Tarantino? But he uses that violence in a way to make a point and to serve that narrative.
The word you're looking for is well.
Well, yes, does it well. Yes, thank you. In this film, I thought a lot of it was kind of cool, but then a lot of it, I'm like, it was so much.
I mean, I get your point. For instance, when they burst into his friend's house and it's just shotgun blast.
Yeah, do you need to kill Johnny Legs? Like, he's awesome. And I'm sorry he's just been reduced to these, I'm the guy who can get you stuff, the red of the real world. That's a Shawshank pull. But he was that character in John Wick. He's that character again. But you don't need to blow him away or his big black bodyguards, whatever. I don't know. I just felt like it was a little over the top, and that's usually something I don't mind at all, and actually kind of get a kick out of in most films because it's just a movie. I know I understand it, but I was like, what is this? Really crazy. I mean, the close to the finale there in the grocery store, or the Walmart type-esque store.
The save something.
Max Goods.
Max Goods.
Yes. After the writer. Max, yes, it was originally supposed to be Walmart, but they probably had some issues with all the stuff going down in their Walmart.
Let's see. So Walmart doesn't want...
Like they haven't had those fights in Walmart before. Come on, Walmart.
Well, they probably had each individual thing happen, just not all at the same time.
Yes, we needed some rascal fights, some people in scooters fighting. But it would have been a little more realistic. But, I don't know. I just... I don't know where to go from there.
Just to tap on, as I was saying, I do feel that end one was very cartoony, and then right at the end in the credits, they do go straight on cartoon. But what did you think of that?
What? I will tell you what I thought. End credits. WTF. Question mark, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Yeah.
What the fuck does WTF mean?
What the fuck? Oh, yeah.
Yes. Sorry, we'll just do references for the rest of the podcast, but...
The rest of? Haven't we already been doing it?
Yes, okay. Continue doing. But I did not think it matched the tempo of the film at that point. I thought it was such a juxtaposition and so took me out of what I just watched.
Yeah.
That I didn't... I mean, normally I'd stick through at least through the credits until they go to the black screen credits, and even then I usually try to stay through, but I left probably 2 minutes in. It was just, like I said, I liked the music as well, but it just didn't fit there. I didn't think it was so much energy. And,
no, yeah, I went with my wife, and we left maybe a minute after those credits started, because as soon as it started, I was like, okay, we've gone full cartoon here. All right. I quickly got my phone out to see if there was anything extra, because I don't want to leave if there is something extra there, and I was like, nothing. Okay, and then we just got up and left.
It was like Scott Pilgrim or like Wreck-It Ralph end credits or something, like something like that. But those are different movies.
yeah. For instance, the Scott Pilgrim, A, is based on a book which the art style was used in the credits, and B, is basically a live action anime. Therefore, it makes sense.
You barely explored the Apollo 8 thing in the entire film. So now we're going to watch a whole end credit sequence with this character that we don't even know.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, and it is a real stretch, is that he did end up selling the rights, and this is actually, I guess, the cartoon based off of it.
Oh, God, we're going to get an Apollo 8 movie? He's going to join the Marvel Universe? It has to be better than Fantastic Four.
I would give it a shot. Yes, I gave Fantastic Four a shot. I will give this one a shot.
And we give Ant Man and that a shot. Yeah, but it wasn't a comic book film, and it wasn't that I just don't get the end credits. I would have rather seen. I mean, I had problems with the epilogue entirely. I kind of disliked where they went with the epilogue. I know they needed a button on it somehow.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that was it.
It could have ended with the first line of the film as the last line of the film. I thought that's where it was going to end. And it didn't.
Well, I know you have to see them, cleaned up. You can't end the movie with them just dried blood all over their faces. And,
why not?
I don't know. Because you're paying these young, good-looking actors lots of, not too much money. It's only a $28 million film, but you got to see them cleaned up at the end, I thought. But,
I mean, to be fair, I think the highlight of the film for me was Kristen Stewart getting tased. I mean,
but it was given away in the trailer.
It was.
Yeah. So, screw trailers.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, the film was only an hour and a half. What else would you have shown? If you had to do the trailer, what would you put in
That's a fair point, yeah. But, I don't know. I would have rather for the ending, would have rather just seen them kind of just little clips of them building a life together or something, like going back to that relationship a little more. But now he's just going to be this Jason Bourne guy full time, and she's just going to be the waiting girlfriend.
You know what I would have wanted in the end credits? Bloopers.
Bloopers?
I think this film would have been great for that.
Go back to those 80s and 90s film that just has the gag reel at the end. Yeah.
I mean, there must have been some great mistakes in this film. The fight scene going on, and then Jesse Eisenberg just like, ow, ow, ow.
Oh, yeah, you think, but I don't know, I thought the epilogue was needless, but not the way it should have gone. I'm all over the place on this movie.
Well,
I don't know what to make of it.
To be fair, the film's kind of all over the place. It never had the pacing down. I mean, it was a slow open, and then it kind of sped up but kept slowing down, and had the last, let's say, not including the epilogue, the last 10 minutes was relatively fast paced, and then incredibly slow right at the end. It's like
it felt like the movie started over again, with the epilogue. Oh, okay, it's over, but now we have to pay attention to this dumb scene. That goes nowhere. Okay.
And also, just from trying to think of it at a logistical standpoint, the fact that they somehow had cameras everywhere in that hotel. How? They had the button camera in the lift that the guy gets kidnapped in.
Well, they had a team of wise guys or tough men or whoever infiltrate the hotel, or they paid off some of the staff, or who knows.
I guess, right? It was just, okay, here we go. This.
But, and did you also major plot hole I noticed in this film.
Go on then.
With Phoebe knows he can't leave town. Like in the opening of this, so she knows. So why the whole Hawaii charade? She is genuine. Like that's a genuine plot hole because she is genuinely upset that he's not able to go.
Yeah, I think at that point,
did she forget she was CIA?
No, I think again trying to do devil's advocate. I think at that point she genuinely just wanted him to be able to leave.
So was she going to call his bluff before he got on the plane? I mean, because him getting on the plane would call major attention to him.
Yes,
because he's not supposed to leave the town.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did leave the town
Yeah.
to get to the airport, so they'd already technically broken the perimeter.
Oh, and did you notice the name of the town, the fictional name, Lyman?
I didn't.
Do you remember hearing that, though, Lyman?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Director of the board movies, Doug Lyman.
Of course.
Most of them, I think, yeah.
Right.
Paul Greengrass, I think, was in there somewhere. But, yeah, I can't remember if he just did the first one and then Lyman took... whatever.
Basically, he was involved in Bourne.
Yeah.
It's the point of this.
But, yeah, that kind of stuck out with me. I'm like, I couldn't resolve that in my head. Like, why? Was she trying to get him to Hawaii? Like, or was that an attempt to just escape? I don't know. I guess you could look at it from that point too, maybe.
I mean,
and like, should tear up their return tickets and say we're living in Hawaii now. I don't know. Although it's pretty easy to find you, I would think. There's,
yeah.
Who knows? But overall, I'm nicknaming this. It's a current film. This film suffered from Chappie syndrome, which I know other films have suffered from Chappie syndrome before Chappie was a thing.
Yeah.
But that meaning there is an excellent film in here somewhere.
Yes.
And it just wasn't the one we were given.
No.
No.
It was not.
No. But I loved the premise. I loved the idea. I loved the main characters. But so much of it just wasn't executed and didn't play out.
No, yeah. I mean, I think what would have been really cool is, and this is just my thoughts on it, what if we didn't find out about any of the government stuff until his girlfriend had been taken? Like, what if we only saw it from their perspectives?
Or you mean even when she reveals after the gas attack?
Well, no,
that's our reveal too.
That would be it. Yeah. So this thing is just happening to these people, and we don't fully know why until then. And then it's like, wait, you're CIA? Well, what does that even mean? And then we get the cutting to the government person. I mean, obviously, the problem with that is you need to know that this bad guy is coming after them anyway. But I'm sure someone could have written that. Like, someone could have got that going properly. Like, even then, maybe do a flashback or something.
Well, I mean, even in the Bourne films, you're with him when he's like finding out. Like, when he's rescued on that ship and, like, okay, there's a weird thing in my neck and I don't understand what's happening. I can't remember anything.
Actually,
there's no cutaways to weak CIA characters that just can't carry the film.
Well, what could have been good then is actually have something that they talked about and never showed, which would have been more interesting than just talking about it, which is when you find out she's CIA, cut back to her looking after him in the program. So, like, we didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
Which would have been interesting.
And see, like, where she stopped being the handler and started being the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, that moment where she really does love this person, and she, screw the CIA.
I kind of hope that they filmed that and they release, I guess, a director's cut or something where you get the option of seeing that.
A little more emotional weight to the film would have been great.
Would have been lovely.
Yeah, to make to really feel what they're fighting for, and I felt they tried. It just was not quite enough.
No.
But you're still going to be shocked by my rating.
Probably if it's higher than mine.
I don't know. Do you think we should get to that, or do you have more you'd like to say? I feel like we've beaten this.
No, yeah, I can't think of anything else with the film. The only thing that I didn't fully get until I sat down and thought about it afterwards was like he went and got the fireworks and then he said he was going to drop them off. He did have
that exploded.
Yeah, he had the line in there, and that was why I thought back. There was a line he said where he had to drop them off and then go to work. My problem with that is they're supposed to be a surprise, and he put them at the fucking house. Like, these will be a surprise. Let's keep them in the house where she's sleeping and hope she doesn't wake up until after I come back home.
Yeah.
What? But yeah, I was waiting for the trunk to explode when he after the car exploded. But yeah, and then when I left and I started thinking about it, I was like, well, I guess that line was in there, so he did put them somewhere else. But he won't have been stupid enough to go home.
I felt like they were still in the car, and I felt like that was another plot hole. Like they should have exploded in the car, and then he still has them. But yeah. I did enjoy the majesty of the fireworks. I thought they looked very, very.
They were very fireworky.
They're very cinematic. Yes, very explosion-y. Yes, very bright. Yes, tried to come up with some more good things to say.
Well, especially if you give this film an all-right rating, I'd read. Right.
Oh, you are so going to be blown away. You're like, after that podcast, how are you going to give it that rating? But I think you should probably go first.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I kind of think you should go first. Right. I really want to hear this.
Okay, so. I know this is completely unjustified.
Given everything you've just heard.
Everything I've said. But I'm willing to overlook this film's many issues for the relationship of Matt and Phoebe. Also, friend relationship. Do you remember that? Matt and Phoebe. Were you a Friends watcher?
I was not.
Phoebe Buffay and Matt played by... Ant-Man. Yes.
Well, I did not watch Friends.
Okay.
Friends, I actually find possibly the most boring show ever on television.
It was, part of the time and the culture. Yeah. When
and
growing up.
B, his name is Mike.
Mike. That's what I mean. Mike. Did I say yes?
You said Matt.
Matt.
You were thinking Matt LeBlanc, I believe.
Yes, of course. I was thinking of the show Joey. Sorry, Mike. Yes, Mike and Phoebe. Sorry.
Mike.
Nice correction. But yeah, I just love that relationship so much. There might have been a little residual Adventureland knocking around in my head. I just really enjoy them as a couple. I really felt their connection. And the moments in the movie when they were allowed to explore that, when, there was some, I think, real decent, good acting from Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
With the tears and all that, that made me overlook a lot of the issues, and that is why I'm going to come in with it's maybe oversold it, but it's still not great. I'm coming in with a -3.5.
Huh.
If I was I will give you my completely objective score. Would probably be a -4.5.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Where are you at on it? You're going to go with like a -3. You're like, what?
All right.
No.
Well, let me start by saying that overall, I felt this film was just kind of average.
Mm-hmm. Like, I would give it a soft recommendation.
I guess, yeah. I mean, things stood out for me in the film, but I wouldn't say that anything was like breakaway or anything like that. It's just that there were some really good bits in the film, and then there's just meh. But
sorry to interrupt
really
again,
anything.
but for me, it'd be one of those that's on on TV or that you feel you can walk away from. You don't have to sit for every set. You're fine to go to the restroom or grab a drink because when the interesting bits will come.
Exactly. So I was thinking about it on the way down here, like, do I go this rating? Do I go this? And given my feelings that this is just kind of totally average, there was nothing breakaway, like I said, I like the music, but
that's where we started.
That was kind of it. Like, I think I'm gonna have to give this film a -5.
That's kind of where I thought you'd be. Yeah.
Flat, right in the middle there. It's It's nothing great, but it's not terrible.
The embodiment of MEH.
Yes.
Meh.
Just meh. And not even Lone Star could save it.
The little Lone Star was in it for 6 seconds. Yeah, so why even cast him? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do something like that, Jack Nicholson, just get him in.
And then, I didn't even get to this, but the character of Laffer Laffer equals laughable. He was just, annoying and stupid and not a imposing villain in any way.
No.
Yeah. And I don't think he was intended to, but it was just why?
Yeah. I would also point out that, and going back to the scene where he's setting fire to the car, the amount of time between you seeing Victoria Lasseter come down towards the car and the car exploding, there's no way they would have gotten out. At least one of them would have died in the explosion at that point.
Yeah, there was plenty of things like that.
A lot of stretching.
Exactly. But on that, and once again, if this is your first podcast, sorry, our rating is based on 0 being a perfect film, 0.0, and we take away deductions for each infraction that we feel.
Yeah,
subjectively, objectively, it's all a mishmash. Not an exact science by any means.
No,
and
yes. And you never know, maybe next year for our anniversary we might kind of just do an episode where we look at every review we've done and see if we can stick by it. Right.
So, for reference, the film Dread, I believe I gave an minus 8.5.
No, you gave a minus 13 at that.
Minus 13? Oh, wow. Good. Yes, I went off the charts on that.
I was minus 8.5. You were minus 13.
I knew 8.5 was in there somewhere. and then I went a bit off the scales for Mordecai with minus infinity.
Yeah, just a little.
Blew the top off that chart. But so you can kind of do an easy Rotten Tomatoes conversion. So like a minus 6 is kind of a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sort of. A rough conversion.
Yeah, because we do occasionally, obviously those of you that have listened to us before, like we might give it a minus 0.5 or a minus 0.3, because when we're up there, it's only like little teeny tiny issues we have.
Yes, yeah. So pretty much Lincoln we gave like a 99.9%.
Yeah, I believe it was a minus 0.1 for that one.
Yes, still the film to beat. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. I'm altered out.
All right. Well, the two things that'll go here then is, assuming I'm able to get this sorted right, I'm going to put in a little bit from following Film for Thought episode, which will be the two of us giving one sentence synopsis.
We are debuting a game, for the first time.
Yeah, one sentence synopsis.
Which is what debut means.
Exactly. Of films, which are kind of like the terrible synopsis you see on television, which you read it and you're like, that's not what that film is.
Yeah, they kind of got what it's about, but that's not what it's about.
So what I'm going to do is, just after I finish talking here, I'm going to put in one that I've written and one that Brian has written, and you will be able to hear us trying to guess what those are in the Film for Thought episode.
Oh, yes. And we would love to, I think, suggest your own on Twitter, or just we'd like to play throughout the week with you if you have one. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, and what you can do is send us just a synopsis, not what the film is, and then if we like it, we'll get you to send it to one of us, and then we'll put that in a future episode or something.
That'd be fun to do. Yeah.
So
I've been waiting for this since I had this brainchild, which wasn't long ago. But let's get to that.
So here is
TBC.
Here is two of the many you'll be hearing in the Film for Thought episode.
The story of two men going from suits to shorts.
A man struggles to keep his relationship going when disaster strikes during their trip abroad. Wow, those were good, weren't they?
Oh, that was amazing. I love that game.
And the other thing that I have, we did a long time ago, we were doing Netflix recommendations almost every episode. We kind of dropped off that because either we were just watching the same show, or like proper
I do watch
watching.
an inordinate amount of The Office on Netflix.
Yes, I've been doing a lot of old shows, catching up on Netflix, and recently got Amazon Prime and started watching a show that I heard of ages ago because I saw the very first clip from it about 4 months after it originally came out, and I saw it and thought, wow, that's a brilliant show, I need to watch that. And then I never watched it because I didn't have HBO, so I didn't get the chance to watch it. And it's called The Newsroom, and it's got Jeff Daniels in it, it's got a whole bunch of really great people in it, and it has Dev Patel in it. Now that's I kind of
millionaire.
Yes, Mr. Millionaire himself. Yeah, I do enjoy Dev Patel. So
yeah, Dev Patel's good. I do like him too. Yeah, so I will have to try to find a way to watch that. I don't know. I'm sure it'll get sent to Netflix in 6 months or something.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, some way.
So, yeah, it's on Amazon Prime. I'm sure it's on HBO Go if you have that. So, try and look for it. It's one of those shows that every single time I finish watching one episode, I look at the clock and go, I can manage another hour. I'm sure I've got time here. 4 o'clock in the morning, my eyes are drooping.
Yeah. So I would just like to also give a quick one as well.
All right.
We talked about it briefly before we recorded, and I tweeted about it. If anyone saw that, Narcos, Narcos, Narcos,
Netflix original.
Netflix original, a dramatization, highly dramatized, slightly fictionalized, based on real characters. The interplay between Pablo Escobar and DEA agents, his rise to wealth and fortune as the drug lord of Colombia and that cartel, and then the DEA agents trying to hunt him down in a pre-GPS, phone tracking world. It's really fascinating. Yeah. The writing is just on point. Acting, the performances are very, very, very good. It has Pedro Pascal, who Game of Thrones lovers will know as the Viper, Prince Oberon. Spoiler, shortly lived character on that show. Sorry.
Well, to be fair, anyone dying in Game of Thrones isn't exactly a spoiler at this point.
No, but he was such a charismatic character on that show. Lots of people were bummed when that went down. And he is just as charismatic in this role as the Gringo's partner, DEA partner. He's a lot of the comedy relief in it. But he also, takes his national pride seriously. And, it's just, check it out. It's just very well done. So, Narcos.
All right.
Yep.
Well, I think that's everything.
Yep.
So, I've been Paul.
I've been Brian.
See you later, folks.
Bye.